it was started already.
Oh, it is now. All righty. Well,
All right.
I'm Mascot here with Node Nation. I'm happy to say that we have the Collectiverse team, or part of the team here today, to talk about Collectiverse, the project, the team, your guys' goals, and everything that you guys sort of have envisioned for the Collectiverse space. So, if you guys want to go ahead and introduce yourselves, tell us a little about your project, please go ahead.
Well, why don't you start with just telling me a little bit about yourself? I'll tell about myself, and then I can start with telling about our vision.
Yeah, sure. Been a web designer developer for and running my business for over 20 years now, and then got into the in 2016, 2017, got into the crypto Web3 and starting Solidity, and then started one of the first NFT marketplace just for like a collection of ours, like a spoof, like a and so we're like the 29th collection in the world, so like basically 9 days after Ether and then so we did that and then kind of forgot about it for a while, worked on different projects, VR database in Solidity, and so blockchain, like a kind of a hub, and a lot of different projects, other NFT projects as well. Sent an NFT in space with the Mutniks and like Dr. Sian, astronaut, and things like that. So it's been a fun journey from all the way from 2017, 2016 to through the winter of 2018, of course, the crypto winter, and then yeah, great excitement. Been going to the Miami NFT and Bitcoin conference was fun this year, and yeah, so that's who I am. My first language is French, so that's the accent you're getting, and from Canada, and been living in the US and the Keys for over 20 years now. That's it. That's me.
Awesome.
So thanks, Hami. And just a little something to mention about Hami. Hami is the artist in our partnership. We're both creators, but he's the artist, the visual. I see the world in numbers, and so we make great partners from that perspective in terms of building this type of project. My background is, just I'll go back a little farther just so everyone has an understanding of who I am. I got my MBA at University of Chicago Blue School of Business. I then worked on Wall Street for 5 years. I traded interest rate derivatives. I did mortgage derivatives, interest rate swaps, structured derivatives, financial engineering of different products. I worked at Credit Suisse and Merrill Lynch. I enjoyed it. It was a great opportunity, but I always saw myself as a builder. So I made the tough decision to leave. I started startups. It was the hardest thing I ever did because I just had no clue what I was doing, and it was very humbling. But I trudged through it. I ended up learning how to do it well, saying that humbly. And I had a few exits, a couple sales. I had over the time I've raised more than over $100 million, including investors such as Goldman Sachs. And at some point I got involved in investing in crypto. I was more of a passive investor. What got me going was when DeFi started developing, and I started playing around with some of these technologies, such as the AMM, the DEXs, and I was just blown away. I give great kudos to the people we stand on their shoulders before us, who had the vision and the forethought to come up with these great capabilities. And as I started diving in more, I was just fascinated, and I spent more and more time. I couldn't help it. It was something that I saw the great potential for this industry. And then I started getting rug pulled. I started losing money from projects, and I started getting frustrated with how can these project owners have such disregard and disrespect for our funds. So at that point, I took a step back, and that's where my personal motivation came for Collectiverse, and sitting down with Hami, we sat down and we talked through it more about how we could build something that's both works within the framework of protecting investors, but also is fun and enjoyable, and within a gamification type framework.
That's awesome. It's good to hear somebody with a lot of extensive market background. You mentioned that you worked with Goldman Sachs and other large investment firms. What experience do you have with business management? Because investment banking is very different than revenue management on the terms of creating virgin cash coming into a business or a protocol or a project. So, what's your background like in that?
So we're both entrepreneurs. I mean, I've built companies. I've managed teams of up to, employees of up to 100 employees. I've been founder and CEO of a number of companies. So I've been doing this now for over 15 years of being a startup entrepreneur and founding CEO. So I'm not going to say it's always been easy. It's been a learning experience, but obviously as you do it over some time, you learn to do it better. And I think I'm at a point now where I've learned some of the things you can avoid from making mistakes. But every time you start a new company or business, there's always new challenges that are unexpected. And I think that's the key of being a founder and a CEO. I think, and again, I don't think we have a one CEO in Collectiverse. I think we are partners in that standpoint. But obviously, as leaders in this group, I think you learn to expect the unexpected. You have to iterate fast. If you see you're making a mistake, you quickly learn from it and move forward. You don't just stick with what you're clearly the wrong direction.
Yeah, definitely. Quality answer. So, CTT, what's your background in the art area? So you mentioned that's your expertise. So
yeah, I have a. I'm sorry, I'll let you finish your question. Go ahead.
Oh no, you're good. I was just rambling.
No worries. So I studied graphic. My major is in graphic design, and I did a minor in web development. And I'm talking about that's like '98, like that was like Dreamweaver and like Flash Micromedia, like the old like Flash Micromedia, and like so yeah, that's what I studied, and then I started my business here in web development. So like went from like the WordPress and Web 2 like conventional stuff, and then when I got in the Web 3, then like it just like commutated to all of that, right, and crypto, and and yeah, design wise, I mean, it's just been like, and not only like I do like the design part, like visual design, but I like to do like the flow, the smart contract flows, and how to like so like Apollo came like with like this like vision for like the tokenomic, and that's his world there, and he's great at it, and then like so it's to translate that in like a safe way to like have the smart contracts interact with them with each other, and then like proxy like like the whole like flow of the information and the tokens there is something that I've been doing like a lot for the last 4 years. So and managing like getting it all like developed. I do like, I'm not a full stack dev, but I'm partner, and one of our other partner that's not here is he's also like we've been working together for like over 15 years now, and we just developed a lot of like IP throughout the time, and so we're like we have like been working on fractionalization of assets and all kind of things like that, NFT fractionalization and things like that. So we're bringing a lot together, like from experience. But yeah, in terms of design, so that it's like I'm kind of I'm a designer, but also I'm like a OK code developer, but I'm so a designer, and like the wide term of it, I suppose.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, sounds good. Quality answer. It's nice to know the background when it comes to art. A lot of value comes from the background of the artist, so that's super cool. We're getting some questions here from Saint, member of No Nation. What's the team's demographics? How big is the team? Do you guys know each other personally? Is it just an online relationship? Are you doxed to one another? And what's your geographical locations?
Okay. I'll take that first, and then if you have anything to add. So we all know each other personally. We've had either a personal business relationship, where we've been working together for a while, we've known each other for a while. So the core team, there's 4 members. There's Natalie Labuda, who's Buddha in our Discord. Hami, obviously, who's CV in our Discord. We have Rogers, who is at Rogers in our Discord, and then myself, who is at Apollo. We are the 4 founding members. We all know each other personally, so we've have a very comfortable relationship working together. There's also Mike Mongo, who is our advisor, and Hami has known him for quite a while, and he's
20 years, almost 20
Yeah.
years, and same thing for Rogers. And then we've met many times in person as well. And I'm also moving up in Miami, so like I'm in the Keys right now, but I'm moving there before August. So Miami is going to be definitely the center point there.
And just to follow up on that, in terms of we're located in either so the team is either based in Miami, and I'm partially based in Miami and New York. Hami says Keys in Miami. Rogers is actually in Sao Paulo in Brazil. And so that's sort of the way the core team. And then we have 2 developers we just brought on. They fully doxed to us. They've also KYC with Obsidian. They also are part of the team. One's in Germany and the other is in Belgium. Did I get that right? Actually, I think so.
Yeah, well, Rogers is in Fortaleza, but
sorry.
Yeah. Brazil's pretty big.
Right. I actually been. I've been from
just
the north
lost your microphone for a second.
Oh, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
No. Okay, can you hear me now?
Mm-hmm.
So so I said I've been to Brazil quite a bit, and I should have gotten that right. So, hello?
Yeah.
Okay.
I can hear you.
All right. So basically, sorry. In terms of the rest of the team, so we have 2 other members of the team that are people we all know each other, and then I think there was also the other question was related to what chain. I think we're on AVAX. Is the initial NFTs and project, but we're actually planning to be multi-chain in the sense that our governance token is expected to be on Ethereum. However, we plan to have a wrapped version of the token for our early community members to get access to it on AVAX as well.
Awesome.
Yeah, Avalanche makes sense for multiple reasons, and also I'm a big fan of like the sub chains there, and so that there's something there that's interesting. And of course, if Polkadot would have been a little more ready, like I'd love to be in the center of the hub, but it seems like and of course Ethereum with the gas fees. And compared to Polygon, for instance, Polygon being like a side chain, there's a big ecosystem and all, but I think Avalanche is like perfect for this project. I think it makes a lot of sense. But it's everything is Solidity, EVM. So it's all speaking together anyway. So it's all connected. So. Yeah, I forgot the original question. Well, we all met in person too, right? We said that,
right?
Yeah.
Yes. Matt, can I take a step back and take it one step higher, and then we can answer some specific questions. I don't think we ever actually talked about what Collectiverse is, our vision, and what.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to ask.
Okay, great. I love that we're talking about, and I look, this is great because I think it's important for. First and foremost, and I love this part. This is the transparency that we really value from a organization value standpoint. We want you to know us first. Like that's why we dox, we video dox first. We put our faces on the website. We don't want to hide anything. We want to be an open book, and just to show you, like that's who we are. We're going to do our best, and we're going to put our names on this. But at the same time, so I appreciate all these questions about us. I think that's important. But I also would love to tell you what our vision is for Collectiverse and share where we're planning to take this and why we think we are doing something that's important for this industry.
Yeah.
Okay, great. So our grand vision is to empower individuals to connect and experiment in building societies that provide financial abundance. So the way we will do this is to change the course of DeFi by enabling anyone, whether you code or not, to be a creator and making investors more assured. I use the word assured, we use the word assured, sorry, because it's more than just sustainability or security. It's all of the above. It's providing transparency to investors. It's providing more assured returns to investors with sound tokenomics, and it's ensuring that investors cannot don't have to worry about rug pulls or someone putting in 100% sales tax or honey. And our belief is that doing this will create a community treasury where we can then make real world impact beyond DeFi, such as helping people get to space. We want to go take what we're learning from Collectiverse and then take it to the next step. And the vision that I noted, which was of experimenting and building societies to provide financial abundance, we are doing that. The goal is to we all do that today in Collectiverse, and then eventually we can take those learnings and apply that as we settle the moon or Mars or wherever we will get to in the future.
Yeah, and having like that's a great way to say it. You know, the part of like the metaverse with this is like it also like ties in with like the DeFi aspect of this. It's like a platform, a framework where people can. There's a guideline there, right? So it's so yeah, Ko was saying, like there's no like rug pulls, and there's like a boundaries that stays within, but also like having like an actual economy. So tapping into like the economy that will be the metaverse. This is kind of like almost, I'd say, I hate to say the Shopify because it's not really a Shopify, but in a way that it's kind of it's a platform that let people then build even without having like a deep code knowledge, right? Or like they can experiment and they can create their own. It's like you can create your own Decentraland there. You can create your own sandbox as much as visually and like tokenomic speaking DeFi like sell your own 3D modeling and the NFTs and so there's all of this is creating like an economy that, so it's not just like one token and then a pump and like there's only like one input or whatever, like it's actually like a full ecosystem there, and which is based also on the real NASA like data point, right? So like you get like the NFT like that are actually like all the JSON metadata is actually filled with the real EBOS NASA data point, and we have a full 3D mapping of the real world. So and then so there's that part is like and the artistic level on this and like that. So you see the picture there. I don't know if I'm expressing this properly. I'm a very visual guy and not so much with with my words, but yeah, it's an ecosystem, right? So that's kind of the word that would resume it.
And Mascot, I'm happy to expound on that also in terms of maybe explain what that is if you need if you need to. But let me ask you if you have any questions.
Yeah,
on that.
Yep.
Oh, you want me to? Sorry. Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you said you were going to ask
Oh no.
CPT
I was
question.
gonna.
You cut out
Oh
there for a
no.
second, so I
I'm
wasn't
sorry.
sure.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was gonna ask said Mascot. I see if you have any questions on what we just said. Otherwise, I can help. If there's anything unclear, I'm happy to talk a little bit more what Hami was referring to in terms of this ecosystem. I'm happy to go into it more if that helps.
It makes sense. I like it. It's kind of cool. It's very different than what you're seeing in a lot of the rest of the space. So I guess it does lead me to the question of the fact that, like, obviously it's not a fork, right? Like just to clear that someone asked that question. So, what was the?
It's not.
Yeah.
Yes, it's not.
Yeah.
But we are using components from different pieces and gluing some of those elements together. But the technology as a whole. So we are not a project per se. We are a platform. And so this is what I was trying to say visualize. The way to most easily visualize what Collectiverse is that if you take an L1 or L2, a layer 1 or layer 2 chain, and then we're starting with Avalanche, we're building a platform that sits above Avalanche initially, but it can eventually be on any chain, where there's only one exit point, and that is through Rocket. And by doing that, we can protect the rug pulls because Rocket is managed by us and the contracts, and we're again fully doxed and KYC by city and so forth. So we're protecting that layer. And any project that sits on top of Collectiverse, we can ensure that that can't be effectively rug pulled. It can't be, no. So then we provide the ability for projects we call planets to now take it and do what they want and be in their creativity and do it what they want, and investors to invest in those projects safely. So that's the visual you can think about.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a railing. It's a rail, really, like in a way, like there's a guideline, and it's like within that rail you can build and experiment, and yeah.
Yeah. So kind of using your platform as a proverbial fertile crescent to create a space for young and budding ideas to sort of be cultivated in a sort of safe space for both the people managing it and the people investing to know that there's mitigated risk of scams and any type of danger inherent in the DeFi space.
You said it great. You said that
Yeah,
great.
I like the fertile crescent. That was very poetic. It's good. Cool.
Thank you. So there's a good question here that I saw earlier that a lot of people are probably, I'm sure, really want to know about. Let me find it. Where was it? So you talked about everything comes out to that one point, that one through point of Rocket. What's your plan to make it stable? What's the real, the core founding principle to ensure the stability, especially in a time like now where there are so many regulator concerns about the validity of stable coin-based products and stable priced assets? What's your guys' battle plan to ensure the continued value of that product?
It's a simple answer. It's 100% backed by USDC.
Beautiful. Well, there you go.
Yeah, and I would say to that after the Miami Bitcoin conference, and you see that 2-letter bill that was proposed in Congress or at the House, I forget where exactly, but the Senate or in Congress, but it's gonna go. Stable coins will get the green light. It's looking like, we're not looking at the 600-page bill that contains it's just forever, it contains all kinds of things, but so just the stable coins, like the protocol stable coin, from the SEC perspective, I think it's going to be a go, and it's going to go pretty fast. So yeah, I think it's looking good.
Cool. I love it. Love to hear it. It's nice to know that you guys are keeping up to date on your regulatory information. I know as you get deeper into the layers of DeFi, people tend to just sort of plug their ears and close their eyes.
Right.
And I can't blame them, right? That's the reason a lot of people are here, to get away from the regulator sort of issues that are laid in fiat currency. So you can't blame them. So I get it. Avalanche gas fees are something that a lot of people are dealing with due to the inherently fast-growing nature of Avalanche and how quickly it's being utilized by so many projects and such, that the gas fees are seeing a steady rise in cost for the average user. What's your guys' battle plan to sort of, what's the word I'm looking for, to sort of mitigate exposure to high gas fees, not just now, but 6 months, a year in the future?
Well, that's a great question. I mean, there's always like a like batch process that can be done, right? But also by creating like so we're creating like some kind of so it's like a multi-sig slash vault system where the user connect to, and without like basically you don't need to move. That gives us like multiple options of staking in multiple places at the same time, and then having like different without having to move all the time, and like it becomes like so that's one thing, right? The less so you're still able to do a lot of things without doing a lot of movement. You understand, um, so there's that's one part of it. There's also a bunch of like I think there's always going to be solutions a little bit like a Arbitrum does, for instance, with like a Polygon, and like there's like I think there's going to be solutions as soon as like we can have like you can have like a side chain to like then manage those fees, right? And you can like negotiate like so. I'm not too worried about it. I think there's always like possibility. What's that?
He gave you a layup on the subnet conversation, and you didn't take it.
Oh.
He gave you a layup, my friend. This is your baby.
I was about to say, you can always launch on the Swimmer network.
Come on. This is why we chose Avalanche. Tommy.
Okay. But, okay, all right, fair enough. But I'm thinking about like the infrastructure
right,
itself. Like
immediate, that's all you got.
Right. Yeah. Sure. All right.
Go ahead. Go ahead. This is your baby. Go.
So yeah, well, okay, yeah. So I mean, but there are multiple solutions to deal with this, but so yeah, I'm not too worried about this. And then yeah, like having the sub chain as well, and that's great. Yeah. So.
And that's a big reason we chose Avalanche, and that's
right.
and that was one because we really think that is an area that Collectiverse is going to fit well. We've actually even talked about applying with Avalanche for a grant for that, but we decided to wait a little further until we're a little more. But we have a little more execution. But expect to see Collectiverse on a subnet soon for two reasons. One is because it's good for our community, but two, it's also good for the Avalanche community because it'll be seen as some of these games take up so much gas and they kill the projects for everyone else. We want to help build the Avalanche ecosystem for everybody. This is so we don't want to be selfish and take up all the gas. We want to work in a way that benefits everybody and this ecosystem.
Awesome. I'd love to hear it. So, Rugaped, Node Nation member, wants to know how exactly your launch mechanism will work.
Okay, I'll just touch on that because I think this is something to note that we're doing some things that are very different than other projects, and this was sort of a architectural decision to avoid the pump and dump models and to make something that works better for investors, which aligns with our goal of providing assured returns. So we're first going to be selling these fractional NFTs, and these fractional NFTs have three core utilities. They will have, if they're staked, they'll provide up to 91% APR, and that's achieved by the funds. Every $25 that we're selling for a fractional NFT, we're putting $16.75 into a reserve account. So the money is sitting there to pay those reserves. It's not dependent on transactions or buys and sells. That money is there to pay each person that buys each NFT. And then the second part of the utility that we're offering is that you get to have governance and vote on where you take the project. Each project or planet functions as a sub-DAO. And the third thing is that you can terraform, which in our case is equivalent to compounding your governance NFT, which gets you a second NFT. In this case, it's a land NFT, which provides a yield boost of 20% over 6 months. Plus, it gives you a virtual real estate in our metaverse in the future. So that's the utility of that. The launch is for that token. We are the currency that everyone's going to receive for the APR is going to be in their own currency of their project, of their planet. So it's going to be planet.rocket. It's a version of stable. It's a quasi. It converts it to rocket. So the way to think about it is that is each planet's token. So there's no launch mechanic in each of those projects. They're all of a sudden going to have those tokens. And then depending on what the project does, if they decide to do some things that they increase revenue significantly, they will drive a lot of revenue in terms of in terms of the DeFi, or in terms of like they could sell merchandise or whatever it may be. That's going to increase the value of the total reserve of their currency. So it's an ecosystem that is already ready for anybody who wants to take it to make money. And there's no worries here for investors. If you can participate in Collectiverse in two ways. You can be a passive investor and just sit back and buy one or multiple planets and earn your returns, or you can be a proactive and get involved and get your hands dirty and learn. And so again, there's nothing there that's launching, and then all of those currencies exchange into the rocket, and it's an exchange rate. The way to think about an exchange rate is the same thing as a token price. When I own a particular token and I can exchange it into USDC at a price of say $2, it's just the exchange rate. So we don't have a token price per se, we have an exchange rate. And it's just how the way the currencies in the world work, where you convert the yen to US dollar, or real to US dollar, or whatever it may be. So Rocket functions in this case like the US dollar as a stable coin. But you can be assured that it's not going to be inflated or so forth. We're just going to keep it backed and stable. And that's it. And then eventually we're going to launch and do a fair launch of our Verse token, which is our governance token for the entire ecosystem. And that will be what I had mentioned before, where we're looking to launch on Ethereum. But we're looking at, again, doing a fair launch there, where the price would be determined by something like a juice box or something fair. So we're looking at trying to create as fair mechanisms as possible to avoid the mechanics we've seen in other projects, and trying to create a sustainable ecosystem for everyone. And this took a lot of time to design this structure, a dual token structure that separates yield and another from just price in it, value from the overall project, and also thinking through how it works for each of the projects having their own currency and token. I know I probably spoke too much there and was a long-winded answer. I apologize, but that's hopefully that was clear.
No, it was great. Great answer.
Okay, great.
Saint from Node Nation asks, where would you invest the funds, and what fund? How would you utilize the funds that Collectiverse makes?
Yeah, I'll take this also, Hami.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, sure. So, I mean, initially, the funds are going to be invested in our ecosystem and our planet. So, for example, we are going to set aside funds, the first funds that come from terraforming. We are offering to pay for the KYC of any project that wants to be KYC. We've done an exclusive partnership with Obsidian, where they have agreed to KYC our team at no cost. And in exchange, they are our exclusive partner, or anybody who wants KYC on any of our projects, or any developer who has a technology they want to bring to our no-code DeFi engine, that Shopify engine that Hami was referencing. We would KYC them too if they want. And the goal is that we would actually provide all the costs built in. We're also working with Presale Vanguard, and that they do ratings, which takes it one step beyond security. It takes it to go on sustainability, the tokenomics, the team, the experience. So they look at all those things and give it a rating. And so we're looking to provide as much value as an ecosystem, as a platform, to our investors and to our builders, so that it becomes a no-brainer to build in Collectiverse. Or if you bring something new if you've created something new, let's suppose we go back, rewind, and someone created the first. This is the Olympus DAO, and they created the Ohm fork. The Olympus DAO protocol. They could come and bring it into the Collectiverse, and we will ensure that they get a piece of every project that uses them. So it's like for protection for the builders. We would also, if they want, be KYC'd. And we're also looking to see if we can also provide them with auditing. I think the auditing process is currently broken, to be very frank. We're not happy with the current state of that. There's no accountability. I mean, someone can say they audited, they charge you $20,000-$30,000, and they have zero accountability if something goes wrong. Like, oops, I'm sorry. So we're looking at also seeing if we can fix that. We are very unhappy with that. Hami and I've talked about this. Our goal, as I said, is to change the course of DeFi and transform it. We're looking from every angle that we run into friction. We're saying, how can we make this industry better and not just accept how it is? And I think that's been something where investors and builders have just gone with, is that this is how it has to be. Okay, I'll live with it. We're taking a different approach and saying, how can we make it better for everyone?
Yeah, it really needs to be like a system of like, auditing / insurance combined. I know one of the biggest NFT and protocol insurer, there's ways to make this happen. And like, you audit, but you also insure. So you have all, you're going to be like that much more careful when you're auditing the smart contracts there in the protocol to make sure that because then you have something to lose as an auditor, right? Because you're also the insurance company. So this thing's coming down the pipeline for that.
Well, again, excellent answers. How many planets do you expect to launch, and by which timeline? This will probably be our last question.
Sure.
15, yeah. So 15 for the so planets and the moons for the first launch, right? So they're like all fractionalized. So they're like an NFT. 1155 ERC 1155. They're fractionalized into other 1155, and those are like basically your Planetverse or your governance token, right? So then from there's like the planet rockets themselves, so the currency within. That's like kind of it's like not white label, but it's like gray label kind of way. So like they each community can actually be creative with their currency, and so 15 at the beginning. But like I said, we do have a full mapping of the known universe right now. There's only 4,000 exoplanets, there's all the stars and everything, but those are not like habitable. But the selection of them is like based on the real database. You need to have like a planet that is that actually is like density wise is dense enough to build on, and you're not going to get too crushed by gravity and things like that. So there are some basic like not necessarily Goldilocks planets, right? But there's some like basic like selection. So it's right now it's only in the solar system, and so 15 is the short answer.
Yeah. And in terms of timeline,
planet and moons,
and timeline. So that's the question. This is where the auditing frustration comes in. We would be ready by May 9th to go live. We're running into some for the pre-sale. Sorry, this is for the pre-sale, and then we could probably go by the end of the month for full launch. But we are running into some questions on the auditing front. So this is a question we're actually going to bring up to our community and stuff of what is the best approach for everybody. We are looking at bug bounty, using a bug bounty instead of potentially paying auditors or paying quality individuals. I'm talking to Obsidian to see if they can bring in some 2 or 3 people that can review the code versus paying a firm. Like what is the best process? Can we use a method that is a hybrid that's in the end better than just relying on a stamp of approval from one of the big audit firms? And we're gonna ask our community this because that's a tough decision. We want to be aligned with investor security, but if it causes the project to be delayed, if it takes so much funds to do it, and in the end you have no accountability, is it really worth it? And at this point, I don't know the answer to that, and I'd love to understand that better, why it is. But
and a full launch on the testnet right? With like the bounty, I think like leveraging the community to like, have a full open like source there, like I think is very important. Yeah, good old bounties like in the far west.
Yeah, that's the way to do it, man. Testnet
Right?
testnet is the way, man. Let me tell you what. Not enough
Right?
protocols utilize the full benefit of testnet, man. It's crazy to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
We will.
awesome. Well, that all being said, I really appreciate you guys. If you had any special offerings to the Node Nation community, now would be the time to sort of go over those.
Yeah.
We talked a little bit about you guys being excited to integrate Node Nation into the Collectiverse sort of
Yeah.
plan.
Thank you, Master, for teeing that up. So I want to share with the Node Nation community. We are one of the things we're looking to build. If it hasn't come clear, is we're looking to build a community of Web3 communities where different projects or communities that align with some of the things you heard today that we're talking about are important to you. We want you to create a team in our Discord and compete with fun type competitions between other teams. We have, some great teams already, such as Wand Investments, Project Europa, and a number of other great projects that we're excited to have on board, and we're the potential opportunity to play this is that there's 30. We don't use the word whitelist, we use WLs in our terms. So there's 30 WLs available for the teams through the competition. Every participating team that competes and is involved gets a guaranteed one WL. Plus, like I said, each round is 3. And even if you don't win each contest, the teams that do the best, the top 10 performing teams, will get a planet branded after them. It doesn't mean they get the planet given for free, but it means they get co-branding. So, for example, it could be Mars / or dash Node Nation. We are looking to have in our NFT image some co-branding elements, so that we want you as our founding communities and members that are supporting us to also be recognized in our project, in our NFTs, and not just be Collectiverse standalone. You are our founding community. So we would love for you to join our Discord, come on board, build a team where we're asking for the teams to be minimum 25. The contest just started the day before yesterday, but the first contest goes till May 2nd, so there's still a ton of time. We're going to be announcing the next contest later today. So please come on board. Let's compete for those WLs, and let's have some fun together and talk about how to make DeFi more secure and more compelling for all of us.
Yeah.
Should we create a channel on Discord?
I want them to let us know if they do, and we'd be happy to. So they can reach out to me in the Discord, and I will be happy.
Yeah, and if you want, just go ahead and drop a Discord invite in the general chat, and I'll ping everybody to it.
You got it. I'll be putting it up there right now.
Moving over there.
Yeah, that'd be great. I appreciate that.
Sounds good.
Alrighty. Well, on a big thanks to the Node Nation community for coming out and asking some great questions and spending the time here today to listen to the Collectiverse team and what they're doing and what they're all about. I'm really excited to watch you guys and watch the ecosystem grow. I think you guys have the DeFi space's best interests in mind, which is really nice, because a lot of these DeFi protocols, they're out either just for their individual project or to make money, like 95% of the time. So the fact that you guys are there to grow the space, which is better for all of us in the long run, I think is really admirable. And the way you guys are going about it is really fun and exciting. So I know all of us here at Node Nation are excited to watch you guys do that, and hopefully we can get involved over there and sort of continue to grow together as a big DeFi community. So once again, I'm Mascot, Apollo CTT. We appreciate you guys, and we will catch you on the next one.